News. There. You're watching London Live News with me, Katie Pilbeam. It's 6 o'clock coming up on the show. The church turning drill music into gospel to spread a message of peace.
I'd definitely say this was out of the ordinary, beyond anyone's imagination.
We hear from a London firefighter who says battling the Grenfell disaster left him wanting to take his own life. We'll have the travel, the weather and the sport for you this evening, also coming up. Does our flag reflect who we really are? An attempt to redesign the Union Jack to make it more multicultural. We'll be talking to two explorers who reached the Arctic Circle in record time. We'll be joining the parade at the Hackney Carnival, hitting the streets of East London. I can't decide why. So beautiful to me. And we'll also be hearing from singer Chess Galia about her own London shows and how she's helping other singers get into the spotlight here in the capital. A London duo has just completed the world's first endurance challenge after travelling 5,000 kilometres across 7 European borders under 3 months from London to the Arctic island of Svalbard. Well, under 81 days of running, swimming, cycling, paddleboarding, rowing and kayaking, Robert McArthur and Poldy van Lynden, they joined me earlier in the studio to tell me all about their impressive journey, which began at Marble Arch.
And we ran 3 marathons to Dover, and then we swam across the English Channel to France. Then we picked up our bikes and cycled through France, the Netherlands, Germany. And then from Germany, we kayaked to Denmark, cycled up to the top of Denmark, then paddleboarded to Sweden, then went all the way up the coast to the top of Norway, again cycling, where we then picked up our ocean rowing boat and rowed 700 miles through like wild Arctic seas.
Wow.
to Svalbard. And
there were all other elements as well, not just physical, because you had to deal with storms too.
Yeah, I think being just sleep deprived was one of the hardest things to deal with on the rowing boat, because you're doing 2 hours on, 2 hours off, and in your 2 hours off, you're not getting 2 hours sleep. You're probably getting half an hour at best. So not only knackered, you've got to deal with, as you say, the storms, the big waves, which were relentless. That stretch of water is known as the Devil's Dance Floor by the locals.
That doesn't sound great. And what about hunger?
Well, we had loads of food on board.
Did?
Yeah, so we were eating a lot, but it's really hard to pack in the calories, and we had this freeze-dried food, which you just pour in boiling water and it hydrates, and some of it's good, some of it's not so good, but after a while you just get sick of it because it's all the same consistency. There's no texture. It's just mush, really. So your beef shepherd's pie looks exactly the same as your carbonara kind of thing.
Yeah, just all slop.
Yeah, exactly. It's a long day.
It sounds tough, but there must have been some great highlights for you. I mean, it's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, the cycling, in particular up Norway, was spectacular. The most beautiful country I think I've ever been to. So that, although it still is tough, cycling 80 to 90 miles a day, at least we could see some wonderful sights. Dolphins,
we had a massive shark following us. He was tailing us behind our boat for a while.
That's petrifying.
Yeah, it was quite creepy.
I know it took you 3.5 years to train for this. And can we just talk about what you did in those 3.5 years?
We started with swimming lessons, and we went from there. And you know, it's a huge journey. Swimming the channel in itself is really tough. You know, only a couple of thousand people have done it, less than have climbed Everest. So it was the swim that was the worrying one, because because it's so hard, and secondly because you can't stop on it. As soon as you stop, the tide will pull you in the wrong direction, and you've got to get out, and you've kind of failed. And that was the worry, is that we would fail our human-powered journey at the beginning.
Explain to us why you're doing it, Rob, exactly.
Yeah, we're doing this to raise money for the Scout Association. this fantastic organisation helps young people develop skills for life, and it's exactly the same skills that we've been displaying throughout our expedition. And to Poldy and I, it's really important that young people you know, embrace the great outdoors and have adventures of their own. So we think it's a fantastic cause.